Purpose of this video is to assist you in your submission of your digital images of your art. I am on the College Board website, and there's just a couple pieces that I wanted to point out to you. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page that talks about the requirements for these digital images. What you'll notice is that the College Board has this one part right here where they talk about the maximum size of the image, and this seems very firm. In fact, I remember in the past that students don't even have the ability to upload anything bigger than 3 megabytes. So that is kind of a locked in, firm requirement. That's a maximum size. However, I also want you to take a look at the recommended image sizes. This is in pixels. There are approximately 100 pixels in an inch, about. Actually, it's a little bit different than that, but I mean, if you want to kind of eyeball it. And the only thing that I'm not so sure about with this is this seems a little softer of a requirement. It's more on a recommended size. All right, so given these standards by the College Board, let's take a look at a couple of images and what you would do if you had images that exceeded the sizes or the requirements as outlined by the College Board. I have a couple images in this folder, and I'm on a Macintosh. This is called my Finder window. And if you want to learn about the image, you can single click on it, and then you can do a command key. If you hold that down on the Mac and click I think you could probably do a control get and then get a menu and choose get info as well, especially if you're on a PC. All right, so what I learned here is that the dimensions are in pixels, and they are larger than the recommended dimensions in the College Board site. However, if I go up here, I'm going to see that the actual size of the file is not above what the maximum size is. So this is a little bit tricky. I'm not sure if I would reduce the size of this or not, because I would be able to upload this photo. I think I would tend towards not doing it. However, if you do have a file, an image that is bigger than 3 megabytes, this is how you're going to deal with that. Now, this is just an informational window for you. So I'm going to close the informational window. And on the Mac, I want to open this with Preview. Very easy to resize an image. To force a file, an image, to open with Preview, which is built in on every Mac, you hold down the Control key, click on the image. You get this menu. This is where I was talking about how you could get a get info to find out the file size. But if I go to open with, I can force it to open with a particular piece of software. I'm choosing Preview. Cute picture of Mr. Brown. All right. I'm going to resize this thing. To do that, I go under the Tools menu. I go down to Adjust Size. And the College Board talked about a resolution no greater than 72 dots per inch or pixels per inch. You could actually change that if you'd like. However, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to change the width and the height based on the recommendations. So I think the width recommendation was something like 780. So I'm going to change that to 780. Notice that the height changes as well because these two proportions are locked together. So if you change one, the other one is going to change to keep it the same proportions. That is because I have this check mark right here. If you didn't have that, it would skew the image. So I noticed that I think the height recommended size was 500 and something. I could then go and change this to whatever that was, 560. I'm just guessing. I'd have to go back and look. All right, so what you notice then is the resulting size has reduced from 1.6 megabytes to 86 kilobytes. That's a pretty big difference. There's 1,000 kilobytes in a megabyte. And so we went from 1,600 kilobytes to 86. I think that's an extremely small size, which is why, in terms of file size, which is why I'm not sure that I would have reduced this one at all, unless, of course, it was greater than 3 megabytes. But this is how you're going to do the reduction of the size of your file. All right, I'm not actually going to reduce that, so I'm clicking cancel. but you could, and then you would save that image. One other tip for you is if you do reduce the size of your image, but you want to keep your original on the Mac, you can hold down the Option key, click on the image and drag it off, and you will, by holding down that Option key, you will get a copy of the image. And then you can manipulate that one so you can retain your original. Totally up to you, but you might want to have a duplicate.